Before we discuss the nuances in the new Oklahoma abortion law, it's important to break down what it is and how it came to be. The pro-choice stance stood largely on the back of a 1973 court decision, Roe v. Wade, which established in a huge landmark for women and women's rights that abortion is legal and acceptable in the United States. However, while this created a fantastic pedestal for women, it also created quite the lack of doing anything about it. While pro-choice lawmakers had all of the opportunities in the world, several opportunities in which they had complete control over the federal government, they had all these opportunities to create laws to reinforce that court decision that never happened. And now that court decision is a complete risk of being wiped away by all of these individual states, such as Oklahoma and Texas and the rest, that are openly challenging it by creating laws that go against it in their own states. This is an incredibly petty precedent and one that is incredibly concerning for women who have previously needed these rights.
Hey everyone, it's Macy Crandall. I'm in the student union and we are interviewing students today about their opinions on the new Oklahoma abortion law, which went through the House and they passed that abortion is illegal from conception. So come along with us. We're going to interview some students and get their opinions.
I think that if there are things such as like rape victims, or if, say, a 14-year-old was being stupid and then they get pregnant, they're unable to take care of the kid. Or if they don't want the kid, then they're obviously not going to take care of it like it needs to be taken care of. Every situation has its own thing, its own reason of why it shouldn't. I don't think that you should get an abortion if you're like 6 months pregnant because you're so far along. But if it's at the beginning and you know from the beginning that you don't want to have a kid and you are a rape victim and you know you don't want to go on with the pregnancy, then you shouldn't have to go on with it.
Yeah, I think the 10-year sentence in prison is is very, very excessive.
Yeah, because you can go to prison for longer than the person that raped you.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Richard Silva, and I'm here interviewing people about the new abortion law that was passed. So, please, from a guy's perspective, can you tell me what are your views on it and stuff like that?
Personally, I think I'm for it. I think pro-life. The decision to have sex, and I think that's a big commitment, and I think it's incredibly irresponsible if someone is just gonna willy-nilly make a decision. Like, I mean, you have the capability of creating life. I mean, that's an incredible responsibility, and you should carry that with the utmost respect. And just, I think that it's, it's justified.
Right. Yeah. So you think the law was passed was right? You think
yes.
You think it's with the 10 years in prison and all that, you think that's okay. So that means no Plan B pills, and birth control is pretty much out the window too.
Yep.
So what do you think about that? About how there's no longer any Plan Bs or anything like that to stop anything, one of them things from happening. What do you think about that?
I just think it's a really big decision if you're going to do something like that, and I think that you should be. I think that the consequences of your actions, you should be held accountable.
Oh, okay.
Personally.
So officially as of yesterday, Governor Stitt signed into law an abortion bill that ultimately outlaws and even criminalizes women or other individuals who decide to get an abortion under any circumstance that does not threaten directly the life of the mother. So this also means in cases of incest and rape that you are not allowed to get an abortion. Aside from the fact that this is honestly an egregious overstep on the rights of women, there are several facts against this that just do not make sense within this state. So Oklahoma, when you think of abortion, there are so many factors behind it that contribute to people getting abortions that it doesn't make sense that we're just tackling the issue in and of itself. There's so many, it's so multifaceted that we can't just focus on completely outlawing it, because not only does that create dangerous situations for women, you can no longer have a safe abortion. People go over state lines to travel miles to get a safe abortion. You're not stopping abortions from happening, you're stopping safe abortions. So first we can address the idea of the things behind people who get abortions, people who get pregnant who do not want to have a child. Why is that? Oklahoma thrives off of abstinence-based sexual education. You can't deny the fact that children, teenagers, the society that we live in are fed sex. Kids are going to have sex whether we want them to or not, and we can't deny that. This is a Christian state, but we can't overlook the fact that these kids are not taught how to effectively and safely have sex. So that leads to so many teenagers having unplanned, unwanted pregnancies, leading to higher abortion rates. So how do we stop that? We provide comprehensive sex education that is fact-based, scientifically based, and safety-based. We should be allowing these people to get birth control at the drop of a hat. But that's something we also want to outlaw in this state, is effective and easy access to birth control.
As you know, Oklahoma their House has just passed this new abortion law. What is your take on that? How do you personally feel about that as a woman in Oklahoma?
I personally don't agree with the law that they've passed. I feel that everyone should have a right to make whatever decision about their body up until it becomes somebody else's body.
Thank you so much. And since it isn't officially passed, do you think there are steps that we could possibly take to maybe won't go any further, or?
So I'm not actually certain how far through it is. I mean, there's always ways you can talk to representatives. You can always do protests and stuff like that.
Yes.
Even just talking like this, it can help.
Spreading the word.
I mean, there's always ways you can help. I'm not certain that there's a way that we can stop what's put in place.
Hi, my name is Jackson Hughes, and I'm not too big on following up with news and bills and stuff like that, but a lot of my beliefs are based on Christianity, and what I believe is that nobody should be able to govern and control what you're doing with your body and yourself, because we all have free will and we've all been given the choice to live our lives, and God's given us that choice, and no one can tell you what to do and what not to do, and sometimes those things you do may not be what God has intended for us to do, but that is what free will is. God gives us the choice to live our lives and learn from our mistakes, and that's just kind of what a lot of my ideas are based on, and this is just kind of another way that they're going to control what you do with your body and control how you view things, and that's just not something that I believe in.
So my question to you is, what is this law needed for? To me, the obvious answer is about control, about taking a demographic of pregnant women and trying to control them as much as possible, so that they cannot have resources that they need because people don't like those resources. And I'll take the chance to say that nobody in the pro-choice alley wants abortions to happen. They like the ability for abortions to happen because those abortions are necessary. But there is no casual Friday in which all the girls get together and go get abortions together. That is a conservative lie that has been used to militarize people against abortions. That's ridiculous. Have you ever met anybody who was excited to get an abortion, who was happy about it, who even felt neutrally about it? It is a heartbreaking incident. It's a terrible thing to have happen. Nobody uses it as a form of birth control except for the very last necessary step. By legalizing it, Oklahoma is attacking women. There's nobody attacking zygotes. Zygotes are not entities that can be attacked. They're not conscious entities. But women clearly are. I'm in a room with several of them, and they are very intelligent, smart people. And if any one of them needed an abortion at any time in their life, I support their right to have it. My question is, do you?